Boom. All right, so now we're live.
Good.
Hannah, welcome back to the show. Which helped me figure out a name. I asked you about that later or
Right,
earlier. Please
right.
continue to think and reflect on this.
The
La
name for your actual whole podcast?
whole podcast, this episode we have a name for this, and I really like it. I'm not gonna share it right now, but people will have to wait.
I appreciate your boldness and your bravery of like, I'm gonna start without just gonna go and do like no, don't overthink it.
Hmm.
Don't maybe even don't even think about it at all. Just start.
You literally just hit the ground, start running. Is
Just
really
go.
how I
Just
operate. Um, well, I think it was Eric Thomas who said, "Speed kills." Now, obviously, I think he meant like obviously like cheetahs being really fast can like hunt down gazelles. I didn't
Oh,
think
okay.
he meant like if you speed really fast in a car, you're gonna kill yourself. But this is kind of I would like to think of myself as like a cheetah in the
Okay,
jungle
so you're the
versus
cheater and you're killing
and
your
I'm killing.
goals because you're so fast.
And that's what I want to be. But I'm like realistically, based off how I've just started like a podcast without having a name and so on and so forth, is I'm probably the guy in the car speeding on a wet, oily road and
You
just
know
not.
what? It's yet to be determined. We'll see how it goes.
It is yet to be determined exactly. So let's
Yes.
stay positive in that essence. Like I appreciate you and your positivity and your optimism. I need all of the above.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, boom, Hannah, you we talked last time about essentially what you kind of do now as far as like therapy, right? And your job and so on and so forth. We kind of want to dive a little bit deeper and beyond that because we can talk more about your personal life, but also your transition, right? Because I know we're going into school. We're studying now. We're doing
Mhm.
therapy stuff in school.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So been a massage therapist for 3 years
mhm,
and, to kind of touch on the personal life, like, thought my life was gonna go the one way, and it's like a big pivot back in November, and I've been putting my life back together since then, and with that, okay, now there's a whole bunch of opportunities in front of me,
mhm.
and, opportunities slash needs, right?
Slash.
Um,
Okay, okay.
so one of the ways that I'm like, "Okay, how do I meet this one need that I have?" I'm now single mom, uh, doing the whole thing solo, right? Uh, I thought about maybe I need to go back to school and shift careers, basically because massage therapy is hard on my body. It's like, and there's only so many hours I can work in a week. I can like hands-on time, like 15 is a good sweet spot. I can maybe push it to 20,
That's
but
painful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like when I was working 20 hours a week, like hands-on time, right? Uh the last one on Friday afternoon, I would be like, this is an awful massage that this person is getting because I'm just wiped. And so 15 hours is doable. But there's no room for growth there. So where else can I grow? And I've always had an interest in mental health from both my own stuff
Fair,
and
fair.
also just trying to understand people and understand how brains work. Um, the uh, the neurodivergent in me is okay. I don't. You seem to be working differently than I work. Let me try to understand you so that we can actually communicate better. So yeah, it's a super special interest in mental health and therapy, and benefited so much from therapy over the years. I actually contemplated going to grad school like right out of getting my bachelor's years and years ago, um, but went a different direction then. So I am now in my third week of grad school to become a yeah, not terrifying at all. um, but yeah, I have a 5-page paper due in a couple days. It's no big deal. No, no problem. Um,
Well, 5-page paper due, 3 weeks into grad school makes you go, ugh.
you're right. And there's a
Um,
10-page paper due the week after that. So no big deal.
well,
Just no big deal.
you know what? Praise be to ChatGPT proofreading your papers, though. How about that?
There's a good brainstorming. Yes. Like we can
Mhm.
brainstorm, we can organize thoughts. We can be like, hey, how do you notate and put citations into and, all that.
No,
Uh,
many, many moons ago when I was in grad school, I would have loved to have ChatGPT ride or die for me.
right.
And this is like this kind of like inner jealousy, this insecurity that I'm feeling that you get ChatGPT for your grad school experience and I don't. That must be like what the people feel like for student loan forgiveness. That's like I didn't get my loans forgiven. Your loans were like $2. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
that must be like that I can understand that jealousy, that enviness, like that insecurity based off what you just said. Because like you're like, yeah, ChatGPT do this. Like I remember my last paper going horribly wrong. Like I
Mm,
like to graduate, I needed to write like this long ass paper, and if I'd had ChatGPT and I'd have been like, so this is the
yeah.
format, this is my words, help me
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
put this in like this,
Help. Yes.
and I didn't have that. So once again, now I'm happy for you, a little jealous of you, but that's okay.
Yes,
Oh,
we're appreciative of innovation, and also, the caution of any new innovation brings downsides. So yeah.
that is
Uh,
fair.
and that's even like I'm learning about so first couple weeks of counseling school is like learning kind of about the history of mental health counseling.
Mhm.
And I've learned all of these names back in getting my bachelor's because we had to do intro to psych and we had to do human development for I got my degree in education. And so I learned about Skinner and I learned about Piaget and I learned about Freud a little bit. But
Mm.
now with like a grown-up brain and not like a 20-year-old brain, I'm like,
Different
oh my
brain,
God,
yeah.
this was in the 1900s, 1930s, 1950s. This was not like, you know, ancient times. This is a new-ish kind of field.
Mhm.
Um, but I was chatting with my sister. She's also going to into the mental health field because we flock together.
Big
Um,
ups to this.
yeah, like I'm sure, like trainers and athletes, and like we all just end up finding each other. So we were
Always do.
talking, yeah, we were talking about how that is the like codification or the discovering of counseling in the Western world. But
Mm.
in Eastern world, in like, you know, throughout all of history, there have been ways that humans have helped each other navigate being humans.
Are you telling me homies was being helpful like in the dark ages? That's crazy to me because I know like I feel like in my heart of hearts it was like what? Like I think when Plato was losing a battle or
Mhm.
like what I would not I want to call it a rap battle, but like a debate. Like
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Plato was losing a debate. He was also like a pro wrestler at the time. He would just flex on him. He's like, "Yo, look, not only is your argument stupid, my bicep is bigger." Which I'm
I
just
think
like,
you just used that example just to flex for your podcast.
first of all, I did not. I would flex with both hands if I really needed to, because that's I think that's what he did. Um,
Well,
but
okay.
first of all, I'm like, I was like, really? Did we really were we really out here thinking and talking about feelings and emotions when we was flexing at people in like a middle of debate? Like I've never thought to do that to win an argument until
Well,
obviously.
yes. I mean, this is perfect segue for what I wanted to talk about, John, about how everything is connected. Because I'm going from working with muscles, like
Mhm.
hands-on physical, like, mechanical pressure on tissue, and moving to, and as I've evolved through, like, well, um, I'm gonna pause because I looked up words to use that I had in my brain, but
Mhm.
I couldn't remember how to pronounce them, and I really wanna use them because they're so cool.
Run
Okay,
it.
endomysium. Do you know what endomysium is?
Is it like a has to do something with a cell? It's an
Yes.
organelle?
No, it's the connective tissue around the muscle fibers.
Connected to the most. Okay.
Okay, so the endomysium around these muscle fibers
Mhm.
as it transitions to the tendons and the bones, if you were to like zoom in with a microscope and look at these tissues, they're indistinguishable. You could only like, okay, here's muscle and here's bone from the context.
Hmm.
You like zoom into each of the cells, it's like the transition between the tissues is almost imperceptible. It's all the same stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so here's that, right? So I'm putting mechanical pressure onto to muscle fibers, the endomysium, the connective tissue. And then I learned about that in just in like massage school, right? We're putting mechanical pressure onto tissues. And then I took this one course or this one certification called Zero Balancing, and it
Hmm.
went way over on the other side. And it's talking about the Chinese meridians. It's talking about acupressure points, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! I don't know how much of this I believe, right? But one of the words that they used was piezoelectric. I don't know how if I'm pronouncing that right.
I don't even know how to spell it, but
Okay,
continue.
but here's the cool thing. It's how applying mechanical stress to materials generates electric charge. There are
Okay.
there are some materials that if you like press on them, it creates an electric charge. One of those materials is human bone. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like slowly trying to like be like, so you're telling me I've been static shocked my whole life. If
No,
I
it's
just
just
press hard enough, we get electric. Oh, this is about to be lit.
well,
Sorry.
it's the connection between this okay, we've achieved results from putting mechanical pressure onto tissue.
Mhm.
And then there's the Chinese medicine aspect that there are energetic flows that move through our bodies in these certain currents. Well, this is the intersection. This is the study of, oh yeah, there is when you put mechanical pressure on tissues, you do create an electrical current and it affects tissues.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, right? So
Okay.
okay, so I went to that. That was super, super interesting, kind of in the woo-woo world, but I was experiencing it. I was experiencing this energetic connection.
Hmm.
So I swung back to the other way. I took this one a certification called functional range conditioning. And the
Never.
yeah, and there's the practitioner side of it. There's like the people who can put hands on people,
Hmm.
do soft tissue work is just functional range, I think. Functional range something. It's all the whole program. But
Right. Right.
it's for the practitioners. And they were talking about something called bioflow.
Okay. I haven't heard this term. Continue.
Bioflow, because it's like the idea that when you contract a muscle, the other muscles around that muscle are recruited and they start to contract also. So if you're trying to create an effect on you're going to try to add load or you're trying to affect, also, there's something where adding mechanical stress or adding load to tissue changes it, right? Like
Hmm.
you do controlled articulated rotations, you can swing your shoulder around, but when you start adding load to that or you start adding tension to that, then that's when it starts changing the tissue. um,
Hmm.
so the idea of bioflow in FRC was you're going to try to tense up your entire body because that's going to affect your nervous system, which is going to get your body to start actually changing tissue. I know I'm talking about a whole bunch of stuff. It's all connected in my brain, dude. Are you seeing how it's connected at
I
all?
see I see what's connected because like for example, like I know the more mechanical tension you can build up like within yourself, the heavier load you can lift. So for example, if you were like John, dumbbell strict press, I don't want to conflate myself, make myself pretend to be really strong.
You
Dumbbell
you
strict
already
press,
you already flexed your bicep. I can't remember.
dumbbell dumbbell strict press like 80 pounds. We're gonna go
Okay,
big.
okay, sure, sure,
I'm
sure.
not gonna I'm not gonna hit that, but let's say dumbbell strict press 80 pounds. Boom, right? So I'm dumbbell strict pressing 80 pounds, right? And I'm like, "Oh, man, that was really hard." But if, like, I hold my hand out here and, like, clench a fist and
Mhm.
then dumbbell strict press because I'm trying to create more tension in this side, I'm then able to be more stable and better lift on this side, if I remember correctly. I forgot the name of that principle.
I think, well, the one I would use the word irradiation, like you are
Radiation. There we
yeah.
go.
Okay, so here's how I'm gonna sum it all up and how I'm going from mechanical stress and mechanical pressure on tissues to becoming a mental health therapist.
Go, go, go.
Okay. All of that from the passive range, the passive things of like just putting some like zero balancing is I'm putting pressure on bone joints and trying to activate this piezoelectric field. And it's very,
Mhm.
very passive. And it's really, even massage is like a lot of it is let me down regulate my nervous system. And then now you're talking about strict dumbbell presses of 80 pounds, that's like going to the other end of your nervous system. Like you're trying to build this capacity and you're trying to stress and bring like you're not trying to go down regulate. You're trying to up regulate, right? Because
Mhm.
that's where you're gonna get that range. That's also what therapy is. Like it's the ability to go into like we're gonna learn how to down regulate our emotions. We're gonna learn how to down regulate our mental health. We're gonna learn how to down regulate and like calm ourselves down. And we're
Mhm.
also going to learn how to, when we get to the peaks of our stress and we get to the peaks of our exposure to triggers or to stimulus, we're going to be able to build that capacity so that, and then be able to bring ourselves back down again. We don't want to stay down in like completely down regulated, flat on our back. We can't move, but we want to be able to go there and then come back and then go up to the high points and come back. And that's that range of capacity that I see, and I think is actually really still connected to the physical world of being able to have a passive stretch, have a down regulating massage, and be able to strict dumbbell press 80 pounds or whatever it is to
Mhm.
build their capacity for human existence.
Okay, so wait, so forgive me. I'm a
Yes.
simple man myself, so I'm just trying to make sure like I understand what was just summed up. So you're
Yeah, yeah,
saying essentially you're relating the physical capacity and experience that happens in the body to the mental experience that happens. So essentially, like we we can upregulate and downregulate our body, like upregulate fitness,
yeah.
activity, downregulate relaxation, yoga, meditation, massage.
Uh-huh.
All right, cool.
Yes.
And now you're saying what we want to do with therapy is being able to handle the upregulation of the mind and bring it
Mhm.
back to a center, but also potentially if we're down regulated down here, we can possibly have tools to upregulate ourselves back to
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Oh,
And
look at
being
this.
be able to be comfortable or be like, "This is the capacity of my human experience." I'm not trapped in this little, like it's actually called a window of tolerance, and if you have a really small window of tolerance, it's actually really, really hard to live in the world. So, being able to expand your window of tolerance, so, you don't wanna be, holding 80 pounds over your head for your entire 24 hours, right? You wanna
Mhm.
do it, you wanna do your sets, you wanna do your reps, you build and you wanna be able to then stop. Same thing, you don't wanna be stuck in, like, I have to be in Savasana 24 hours a day in order to survive. That's a we experience that and we all of that flow. That's the same with cardiovascular health. You want to be able to survive your heart rate getting up high and then bring it back down. And you also don't want it to go too low,
Hmm.
you know? I think not only is that like a parallel metaphor, I think it's the same thing. I think we as a Western, like post enlightenment has divided ourselves into physical body, mental body, emotional body.
Mhm.
And here's where I'm gonna ask you a question,
Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay,
okay?
I'm ready.
Whether in your own personal experience or in your professional experience, how often have you seen, whether like the clients that you're training or your own physical training that you're doing, is connected to, has a result on, is affected by your own mental state or your own emotional state?
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna go to a dark place. I'm gonna grab my keyblade and hold on to it.
Uh-huh.
Because you just unlocked something dark within me.
No! Oh, but good.
So in general, I find it with my clients, we all have like different varying levels of capacity, right?
Mhm.
And there's one thing like my business coach slash breathing coach taught me. Big shout out to Cody. Um, is that all stress adds.
Mhm.
and you have mechanical stress, you have emotional stress, spiritual stress, like whatever you like, you could you can stress about like a lot of things. So like my younger sister, I may have told the story last time, right? I know I've told it recently, but like my sister spilt milk one time when we were kids
Mm.
and started crying,
Mhm.
which made me laugh my ass off. It was like, you're literally doing the thing. You're literally crying over spilled milk. Like
This is what
this
they say not to do.
the thing that they
This is
told
the
you
way.
about. It was like, "This don't do this." And so, like, all stress adds, right? And so, like, I know for me, like, when and so I can speak to myself because I'm in my own body,
Mhm.
and though I can empathize with other people, like, how they handle or deal with stress is very different. For me, my skills to tolerate, like, mental stress are, like, through the roof to the point where I don't know that I'm mentally stressed until my body reacts.
Okay.
So, like, that's something that I had to notice for me. So, like, I was in, like, I was in a relationship once, and not to get too deep into it or give you, like, my tragic Batman bat story, but, like, there was one point in time where I'd, like, go to sleep for 4 hours and wake up, and I'd wake up ready for, like, karate. I was like,
Oh, uh-huh.
"We about to fight?" I was like, "I'm ready. I'm up. I'm alert."
Yeah,
It's I've been in bed for 4 hours. I should not be this alert. I should be
right.
groggy and want to be asleep. I don't do this. I don't wake up in the middle of the night. What's going on here? And then I learned much, much later, not much, much later. I learned soon enough that your body, when dealing with high amounts of stress, like builds like your cortisol. So essentially like your cortisol hormone. For those who don't know, it's a stress hormone that builds like throughout the night that eventually gets so high up that it causes you to wake up in the morning after you've had like a solid night's sleep, right?
Right, right.
When you're under high levels of stress, your cortisol builds faster. You're
Mm.
like, and so like
You're already closer to the threshold. Yeah, yeah.
closer to your threshold. And so for me personally, that finally helped me realize that like my mental state impacted like my physical state. Because if you'd ask me like, John, are you stressed? I'm like, no, I'm
Mhm.
chilling, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, it's another day, another dollar. Let's go. But then my body, on the other hand, was like,
Mhm.
and that's kind of like where I was stuck. But there was such disconnect between my mind and between my body that I just didn't realize what was going on.
Yeah, that makes me think. I'm glad what you said was like what you found out about what works for you and your experience and like you use the word and I'm going to push back on you. You use the word that your skills for handling mental stress were through the roof.
Mhm,
I would push back and say your tolerance for mental health, for mental stress,
mhm.
because it wasn't necessarily that you were using skills to deal with your mental health. You were like, I'm fine, but your body was not fine.
Thought it was not fun.
Body was not fine. But even that, it's like an acknowledgement of this is how my body processes, this is how my mental health, like my mind processes, this is how I as an individual process. And that's really what I think is therapy is good for. Like I work with a lot of I work with a lot of guys who are in law enforcement, like my massage clients, law
Mhm.
enforcement, VA, veterans. A lot of them have learned how to cope with their stress by shutting it off. And
Mm.
and then also, like, it just happened to be a lot of, masculine men who don't really believe in therapy. Let's just say that, there's a stereotype. It's a stereotype, but it comes from something. And I had one guy who was like, I don't need therapy. I just turned my brain off. And as he's like suffering from severe back pain, and that's why he's in my office, right?
That
And
sounds
so
dangerous. I don't believe in therapy. I just turn my brain off. That sounds
that was his quote. So I think there's been a media representation of what therapy is like you sit down on the couch and you have to talk about your feelings and you have to, and that's part of it. But it's really also like what is going to help you experience life in a way that is healthful to you. And you noticed that you weren't sleeping. That was not promoting wellness for you. You were experiencing stress and you were having an adverse reaction. So, you know, the approaches there's lots of different approaches to therapy, including, there's talk therapy, there's talking about the emotional things, there's going back into your childhood. That's all good stuff. There's also somatic therapy where, like, okay, this is the situation that I have in my body. I'm going to work with my body to process this feeling. And there's hardly any talking at all.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really interested in like psychedelic therapy where you're using other substances that people have been using for all of mankind time, um, to help process experiencing the world and maybe do it in a way that and opens up a pathway that you hadn't seen before. Um, there's art therapy, there's play therapy, there's like, actually, you don't need to talk at all. You need to go have a massage. Actually, why don't you go lift some really heavy weights because you have a lot of anxiety in your body, and you need to do something. You need to go run really, really fast because the world is on fire and running is the thing that makes sense. So go run really fast. It's like finding the thing that's going to help calibrate. That is my theory of therapy. That's what kind of got me from I'm working with these clients and I'm like, gosh, some people do just need a relaxation massage. Some people do need some mechanical force on their tissues to help with a specific injury so they can go back out and keep doing the thing that they already know to do. Some people need to turn their brain on and talk about what they're feeling.
I'm very much like a turn your brain on, talk about what you're feeling kind of dude. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I feel like I used to be like on that side of like feelings.
Mhm.
Like those get in the way, baby. Like we don't need those. Let's
Right.
talk logic and rationale and go from there. But like your feelings play a role in things, and
And what happens if you don't feel your feelings?
you'll feel them eventually.
Yeah, yeah, they don't go away. They
They don't
explode.
go away.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't go away. Like if you're
yeah.
like you don't feel now, okay, wait till you do. That's not
Right,
going to go well.
exactly. Just wait till you wanna go to sleep or you retire or you have a breakup or you get everything that you ever wanted, you get a new job and you're like, "Oh, I got what I wanted. This is what I was suppressing all my emotions for."
And now I can't stop crying. Well,
Now
yeah,
you're so crying, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I remember, because I remember like for the longest time, like I my I like whenever I get like stressed enough, like whenever I like got anxious enough where I wanted to cry, like I down
Mhm,
regulate because
mhm,
my dad had no idea he did this to me.
mhm.
Like I was in a car headed to the U.S. with my dad, driving in a car from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain
Okay.
across this really long bridge, and I was like really sad because like we left my mom because my mom was coming with us. I really missed my mom, and I was like a little kid, so I was crying.
Yeah.
Like my dad was playing like these like songs, like my favorite songs, like to make me not cry, but I like wouldn't stop crying. I just missed my mom.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like what really would have helped would have been like, hey son, look, crying's getting a little hard for me.
Mm,
All
mhm.
right, like I love you, mom will be there to comfort you. Like get your feels out, but also like it'll be okay. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the good stuff that probably I think would that I needed at that time as a kid.
Mhm.
But instead my dad's like, shut up,
Yeah. So he
like
was
you're
expressing his stress out on you.
not on me. Because I was granted I was a kid, so I was building up his stress, right? Crying. And I know it's probably an easy thing to deal with. But by him telling me to like shut up, like,
Mhm,
big boys don't cry, I was
mhm.
like, cool, we never cry again. Right? Like, cool, we lost that. We
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
that. And like I like to this day, like it's in my 30s now where I'm able to like cry again.
Right, right.
Where there's
Hold
like
hold on
there's
just a second.
oh, you're fine.
Kids have got home. So yeah. I told them that I'm recording, but
We're podcasting.
yeah.
Uh but
But
yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you never cry again, and now you're in your 30s and
And like we can cry again now. Like it's crazy. Like I
yeah.
was like, I feel that, and there's like water coming out my eyes. This is crazy.
Uh-huh.
So that's
Have
like,
you ever had a client start crying during workout?
yeah,
Yes. Have you ever started crying during a workout for, like, no reason? Oh, no, you don't cry.
never.
You've never cried again. Right, that's right.
No, no, in my 30s now. Now that I'm in my 30s, I don't think I've cried during a workout. Like I've like there's things that now like I empathize. Like I remember one time. This is when I knew I was, like, off. Is I
Mm-hmm.
think I was, like, 18, and my dad, like we were watching, like, Radio. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. It was, like, a very emotional movie about, like, this black dude who was, like,
Yeah.
special ed.
Yeah.
And near the end of the movie, my dad started crying. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"What you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Don't cry. It's emotional." I was like, "Big boys don't cry." Like, bro, you taught me that when I was 5.
Right.
We're breaking the rules. And that's when, like that was, like, 18, and I was like, "Oh, I'm definitely never, like, crying." So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you go back into, like, you're thinking about, "Oh, this is the stuff that a five-year-old John learned." And of course he did, he's 5. He's, like, just still learning how the world works. And you can, like, point to, "Okay, this was the catalyst for that." And now as in your 30s, you can look back and say, "Okay, dad was probably stressed out too. Dad, was having his feelings that he couldn't express, and so he was, like, you know, did it still cause you wounds? Did it still cause the stuff that, like, you wish that would like to change?" That's all therapy stuff too. And it's also in, like, I've had people cry on my table from massage therapy because there's a certain level of, like, "Okay, I'm relaxing and I don't know where this is coming from, but I've been holding on to everything so tight." Or, in the gym, like, I'm exerting myself to a place where I'm actually, in my body, and my emotions catch up with me for the first time, you know?
Mm.
So, it can be talking about it, it can have the memories, it can be intellectualizing, and it can also be just experiencing it in your body, and it's all connected. Hence
Well,
the name of this podcast, the title of this episode. My whole system is nervous.
the whole system is nervous. Well, um, everything's connected. Now I wanna ask you, like, I want, like,
Yeah,
a wrap-up question real quick just
go for
to
it.
'cause we've gone over a lot. We've gone over therapy, gone over
Mhm.
experience, we kinda went over how everything's connected.
Yeah.
Um And one thing I really want to do is I want to make sure like the viewers, listeners, people who do come across the podcast, like learn something from like our conversation, our experiences. As someone who's worked in multiple fields, who's
Mhm.
done a lot of things, who's learned more about herself and been more embodied, what's the piece of advice you'd want to give to A, your younger self, or B, anyone watching?
Um, that's a really good question. I think the a lot of the work that I'm doing personally myself is to my therapist gave me uh this great, I don't think they meant it to be so like like a progression of steps, but I took it as such.
Hmm.
Um, because I asked them, like, how do I learn how to trust myself? Because in this whole, I started where my life has pivoted a lot in the last
Hmm.
6 months, and it's like, what choices did I make that got me here, and how do I trust myself to make new choices? And they were like, you have to know yourself, you have to accept yourself, and after that, you'll love yourself. It's like basically how you would learn to trust anybody else. You get to know them, and then you get to expect them to do certain things, and you accept that or you don't accept that.
Hmm.
And that's how you build trust with someone, including yourself. So, what I would say to my younger self is actually get to know yourself. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop trying to fit into this mold. I was just talking to my girlfriend yesterday about, like, gender expression and how I always thought I needed to be girlier than I was, because that's what, you're born female, you need to be as girly as possible. And I just could never feel like I could be girly enough according to the world, right? Or the
Hmm.
societal standards. Um, just forget fuck all that. Like, sorry, I'm cussing. Like, be yourself. Know who you are and learn who you are. And then that builds trust and like even loving yourself. Oh man, my brain does this thing, and it's a not maybe like everyone else's, but it's really cool. And like you were saying, you have a tolerance for mental stress that's really high. And you might not know what's going on until your body shut down. But, like, gosh, that mental tolerance is that's a useful tool. And then if you want to grow from that, so I'll transition into what I would tell other people who are listening.
Okay.
From that loving place is where you can grow. Like you're not going to go and yell at somebody into changing, right? Not well, like not permanently. Like you're not going to hate someone into changing. You're not going to say like you shouldn't be like that at all. Stop doing that instantly and completely change and do the next thing. It's going to be a gradual incremental process. So okay, I have a tendency to be a little spazzy or a little forgetful. I'm not just going to instantly stop doing that and become super organized the very next day. Because if I expect myself to do that, what's going to happen? I'm going to not trust myself because like I let myself down again. But I can add in, all right, I'm going to start using my calendar, or I'm going to start writing this notes to myself, or like out of place of taking care. So that's where growth and change comes from.
That's
like I tell my massage clients when January 1st, don't go out and run 6 miles if you've been on the couch for 3 months. Go and walk.
How will I hurt myself?
For 5 minutes. Just walk for 5 minutes. Like that might be where you're at.
If I don't hurt myself, I can't come to you for help.
Okay.
The advice you're giving is it does not align with the experience. I don't run 6 miles to hurt myself. I won't come to you.
That is the problem with being a good person in these helping service professions is I don't want people to hurt themselves, but when you do, I'll help you out.
No, that's sage level wisdom that hopefully some people will hear from as far as like being on the New Year's resolution, but also from what you said about the learning to like love yourself with like acknowledgement and acceptance, and then move to love and the trust. I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm personally working on, so that's what everyone else gets to hear too.
hey, I need to work on that shit. That sounds good. Hannah, thank you for joining us this episode. I'm gonna pause recording. I really appreciate this. You guys heard the episode name. My whole system is nervous. I like it. We'll see if we get Hannah back on some other episodes to like update us on her experience like in grad school, how mental health is going for her as far as her practice, if she's incorporating that into like massage and how it's kind of impacting everything else. And maybe she'll teach me even more because I need to learn.
That's great.
And